Amber. Welcome back to my channel. This is going to be another movie review for you guys. I know I've been doing a lot of those. It's been happening with the holidays and break and everything. Um, I want to get a book review out soon, but I've been stuck on the same book since October. So that's how it's been. I don't think it will be on that particular book, so to speak. But I think it will be on maybe the one I read after that. Oh, yeah. I'm going to be reviewing Tick Tick Boom. Funny enough, I was inspired to watch this because of TikTok and not because of the hype of Lin-Manuel Miranda. I love his work, with just some critical opinions towards certain things, but for the most part, I love his work. And I've reviewed several of the movies he's been in on here, and he's been a part of, and so I don't know why I wasn't gravitating towards this movie. I just kind of was like, not really my cup of tea. I did do some theater back in my undergrad, but I'm not like a huge theater nerd. I do love theater and respect it, and I love Shakespeare and all that jazz. Funny enough, a lot of theater majors are not really too fond of Shakespeare. It's a lot, and it's been done multiple times, but I love Shakespeare. So that being said, I do feel drawn to a lot of like theater-esque movies that they've been doing nowadays based on like um, shows that they've been doing on Broadway, ones that they filmed, and all that jazz. But there's some that I don't really feel like I want to watch or I would be interested in watching. Just like there's certain plays and stuff that I wouldn't be interested in. So yeah, but I feel like with theater you should also give things a chance because they might surprise you. So I gave it a chance. Uh, I was watching a lot of TikTok videos and the songs just kept popping up and the songs are really catchy. So I was just like, you know what? Let's just watch this. And so I put it on the other day and it was really good. It was really really good and I didn't understand why it didn't have so much of a hype like the other Lin Manuel Miranda esque uh things. So like I know it was him and then like it was like I think another director or something, I might be wrong, who like worked on this. But there was a lot of the same actors and actresses. And funny enough, Vanessa Hudgens, who was also in Rent, is the second and last play that Johnny Larson ended up making, and this movie show is based on him. So I thought that was very clever. And obviously she can sing, so why wouldn't she be on this? So it was really fun. I felt like the concept was very like it was generic in that like you kind of expected a movie like that, to be about that, but like they did it in such a wonderful way. Like it was Johnny, wanting to write this great play and get this big check and make it big. Um, but like there was also all these other fundamental things going on in his life that he didn't notice and he didn't realize. And then it was written during like the time when a lot of gay men were being blamed and contracting AIDS. And like it in telling his story, it told the story of also so many different things within the theater industry back then, um, what was going on with gay men at that time. It showed New York during that time and, kind of what was going on in the city. And I think that, yeah, in telling his story, we heard a lot of different other stories, and I really appreciated that. And so he was just this theater kid, and he grew up loving theater, and he had a best friend, and they moved to New York, and they both wanted to make it big, and one realized that this is not what's gonna happen, and his friend is gay, and so he's like, people are not treating people who are gay right, and I need to be able to make a life for myself. So he got into um, a bigger and better job besides acting, so that way he could be able to live well and take care of himself. And still he ended up contracting AIDS, and it's so sad and so heartbreaking, because you see Johnny's friends constantly going in and out of the hospital, and people dying, and it's like, it's really sad. um and then his girlfriend, it shows how they meet, how they fall in love, and just how she kind of puts up with him. Um just she supports him a lot. Not puts up with him, but in a way she does, because she has all these dreams and aspirations as well, that she kind of had to let go because of him, and also because of an accident that happened to her. But um, she wants his attention in that, just like she's been giving him her full attention in his life and everything that he's doing, and that ultimately leads to their breakup. But she still supports him. She still thinks he's an amazing person, and she just she needed to do what she needed to do for herself and to fulfill her aspirations. Then I thought Vanessa Hudgens was going to be more. I guess she would have been more around in the movie, but funny enough, she was just kind of like a friend, which was nice. But I kind of wanted. There's all this talk about the reading for his show and everything, which as a theater student, we didn't talk about any of that. So the fact that, like, I was like, what is this? And like, it's kind of just like they were like having like a presentation of a potential show, and if people liked it, then they would do it. And I was just like, this is really cool. But I wanted to kind of like go more into that. Like, the theater part of me wanted to just know more about that. And instead, we were just kind of going around that, and just like, we were just hearing the songs, and we were just in the space, but we weren't like there. I would have liked to see more of him. There was this one scene where he was like, um, hearing them sing and like correcting them and like applauding them when they did well, and like I wanted more of that. I wanted more of like the critical, like, what makes this a reading. But that was just kind of me. um Obviously it's not what the movie was about, but I feel like that would have been great to see if they just added a little bit more of that, so that way we could see more of his world. Because um it's not that we didn't see enough of his world, it just, we we were just introduced to his play, and I didn't really understand like the full thing of what his play was. And he kept talking about, well, it's more, and I'm like, I get that it's more, and I can understand certain little things of why it's more, but I want to see why it's more. I want you to talk about why a character does this, and I don't know. It's just, I don't know. Maybe it's like the lit major part of me and the theater major part of me, just like, I need more. But other than that, I I really enjoyed it. I say theater major, and I was a theater minor. But I really enjoyed it, and I liked that he had that moment where he realized, like, hey, like, I gotta start doing things, because things are not working into my favor in my way, in the way I'm doing them. So I gotta try something different. And then he like cleans his apartment, he gets everything ready, he sits down ready to write, and then the power goes out. And it's like all these little things that just keep happening, but he like somehow perseveres, but like also like these little like dents in the road, like kind of like lead him in a new direction, because like you can see like that he tries, and then he like goes astray. But it's, you really see, I think, the humanity, and that he, yeah, like he's only human, and like it's not one of those stories where it's just like I have one moment and everything changes. It's like this is so normal. This movie felt like so relatable because it was like, no, it doesn't just happen that way. It's one thing after the other. We go here, we go there, we try this, we try that. I make a mistake, we here we go again, kind of thing. And so I really, really enjoyed that. I also really enjoyed that his friends, besides the ones that were important, were like the main focal group of what was going on. It was just like they were factors that played a very important part. And you knew they were his friends. There were moments where the main friends, I wanted there to be more moments with them. I don't know if that makes any sense, but if you see the movie, then maybe it will make sense. And then this movie did this cool, and I was a little confused by it at first, back and forth type of thing where it's like he's doing his show, Tick Tick Boom, and telling him his story because that's his story. Um, and then he like, it's like he's remembering or he's being put back, and so we as the audience watching it are like put into the movie of when it happened. But it's all one cohesive movie. Like it's so interesting. I don't know if I explained that well, but like basically like we are at the showing of the first, um, not the first, but we're at his showing, and then we're also like in the story of his life. So that's really cool. Um, and the fact that the girlfriend, who no longer is the girlfriend at that point, doesn't fully come and sit down, but she's still there supporting him, and he doesn't know it. But like it left some kind of impression. I felt like that was like how it should have been done. I was kind of sad. I was like, oh, like you want everyone to get back together who's meant to be together, but it just didn't work out that way. Um, it's like it kind of like came full circle. It's like, you know what, like it's okay. She's not here, but then she is here, like, and she's kind of like the guardian angel in a little way. I don't know. I just thought it was very nicely done. Where he's just kind of like it's this time of acceptance and happiness for what is going on, but not like for what was, and knowing that it just is what it is. And I think that is so beautiful. It's sad, but it's life, and it's so beautiful. So yeah, I really liked how he would just, well, it's a musical, like, but like the songs, like people were aware that he just started singing randomly, that was like part of his character. So it wasn't like um you were in a musical. It was more sort of like this is just a guy who breaks into songs, and everyone just starts singing, like thumping things and like playing the drums, and just like, oh my goodness, like there's a song being made. And I just found that like so relatable for me, just doing that like as an individual, like around the house being like, and also just like so fun and so different, and I really appreciated that. um and then you I liked how the songs are focused more on like what was going on internally than what was like just going on like with them. Like there were little parts, like I talked about this in my Encanto review, um where it was like Lin Manuel Miranda's songs were like very like, and this is happening, and then I'm opening the door, and this, and oh my goodness, like then we start into a new song. It was very much, this is the same song, which I think was very fresh and new. Not that I don't like that from his songs. It's just it's a lot of repetition, and it's very, like I said, repetitive. Um, and I felt like something new needed to happen with that, and we were narrating way too much, and this was internal dialogue where it was like, this is the core root of how I am feeling, and stuff is going on around that. And I thought that was really great. And then to not have the girlfriend sing until it was like the main song, and Vanessa Hudgens was singing as well. What I think was so beautiful because you didn't get to hear her voice until that moment, and it was her just like wanting him to like hear her, and I think it was so beautiful. I also thought that it was quite ironic that she didn't want him to write a song based on the situation. That's exactly what he did, and I think that was part of like her acceptance, was like he's going to do that. He's going to write songs about situations for the rest of his life, and I think that's beautiful in him, but it's not what I need. Um, Also, the fact that like the songs that are all over TikTok, the one song that's all over TikTok, I didn't like how it ended, but I did love the song. I found it funny that, I don't know, when I first saw it on TikTok, I assumed that Vanessa was the friend. Obviously, she was. And then he had his girlfriend, and then he was like singing that song about his relationship with his friend, um, and just about stuff that was going on with his girlfriend. At first, I thought it was like Vanessa that was his girlfriend, but I was like, no, that's a friend. And then they're not. Him and Vanessa are not really even like interacting so much in the movie. And so it was just a song that was just like random about relationships and about like a relationship, but it wasn't his relationship. So I found that kind of funny. And then it was being played when he was like arguing and like they were breaking up with his current girlfriend in his like memory and his world. So that was kind of funny. And that happened with a lot of like different songs where they would be like singing like random songs that like I guess somehow fit into the situation, but weren't about the situation, which I thought was like hilarious. And like his whole show about himself was like this huge skit about his life. And they said in the beginning, these are the events of his life, and some of them are made up because that's what he did. So this is real except for the parts that he made up. And I thought that was so brilliantly done. At the end, it all kind of like sunk in. I was like, that's what it was about. In the beginning, I was just kind of like, huh? And then it was like, oh my goodness, that is brilliant. Because, of course, like, even me, like, there's parts in my life that if I were to retell my life or someone were to retell my life, there'll be like parts that I told them that maybe I made up and I didn't even notice because I was like telling my own version of it. Or when I was a kid and I just thought that like if it happened like this it'd be crazy, like, and I would like love for something to happen to me like that. Like it just there's certain memories I feel like aren't even how things happened, but they're my memories of it, and they're my siblings' memories of it, and how we remember the situation based on how I told them or how we experienced it or how we all took different bits and pieces of it, and it just kind of makes it your own. But for it to be like so extravagant like this, I think it's not even so extravagant. I think it's just so human. Like that is brilliant because this is something that would naturally happen. So yeah, that is my review on this movie. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope to see you all real soon. Hope that you had a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Bye!